नमस्ते जी, मैं अपना स्क्रीन शेयर करूंगी.
Sure. And if you can keep it in English, that will be nice.
Oh, you want me to keep it in English? Sure.
Please.
I think it's going to be a mix of two languages. There are some videos here which may be in Hindi, but I'm happy to translate them as we go along.
Sure.
Can you see my screen well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Namaste ji. Om tachakshurdev hitam purasta shukram mucharat pashem shardashatam jivem shardashatam shunayam shardashatam bhuyash shardashatat. My topic today is Vedic solutions to mental illnesses. And I think the two speakers before me have done the incredible honor of already giving an introduction of a little bit of what I am going to say. I promise we did not plan this together, but you will find parts of what Rameshji said and what Acharyaji said and what I'm going to say as well. Rather than going super broad into mental health in general, I'm actually going to narrow it down to a very specific disorder. A disorder called panic disorder or panic attacks. शायद हम लोगों ने सुना होगा, maybe most of us know panic attack होता क्या है. So we're gonna check out a few videos and then we'll go from there. Let me see if I can get this going. All right. So here's the first one.
आखिर ये पैनिक अटैक होता क्या है? देखिए, पैनिक अटैक एंजाइटी का या घबराहट का एक एक्सट्रीम फॉर्म है या फिर एक एंजाइटी का अटैक है, जिसमें कि एंजाइटी या घबराहट के जो लक्षण हैं वो बहुत ज्यादा आते हैं और बहुत सीरियस लक्षण आते हैं. तो पैनिक अटैक के दौरान इंसान को क्या महसूस होता है? पैनिक अटैक के दौरान जो पेशेंट है उसको बहुत घबराहट हो रही होती है, उसको काफी सारे फिजिकल सिम्टम्स आ रहे होते हैं, जैसे कि दिल बहुत तेजी से धड़क रहा होता है, चेस्ट में पेन महसूस हो सकता है, सांस लेने में दिक्कत हो सकती है, हाथ में कंपन, शरीर में कंपन हो सकती है, पसीना आ सकता है, कुछ लोगों को लगता है कि वो गिर जाएंगे, काफी सारे लोगों को लगता है कि उनको हार्ट अटैक हो रहा है, और कुछ लोगों को इतनी घबराहट होती है कि उनको लगता है कि मैं बस पागल हो जाऊंगा. तो ये सारे लक्षण पैनिक अटैक में.
So these are the symptoms of panic attack, right? Your hands start to shake, your mind isn't focused, maybe you'll feel that there's clouding coming in your eyes, you're breathing really fast, your heart's breathing really fast. So when we think of it, can anybody think in their mind on who they can last remember that they know had a panic attack? Feel free to use the chat to put in the names if you think of someone who's had a panic attack or you can remember. And also, if you can go back, think of what your response to their panic attack was. Most normally, हम कहते हैं, अरे ये तो खुद्दू है, अरे ये तो इंसान ऐसा है कि ये तो एंजाइटी नहीं हैंडल कर सकता, देखो इसे पैनिक अटैक हो रहा है, और हम कहीं ना कहीं उसे उस इंसान की कमजोरी समझने लगते हैं. दूसरी बात ये, जैसे कि आचार्य जी was saying, कि पैनिक अटैक क्या है? Is this a problem of the modern era? क्या हम आज यहाँ पहुंच चुके हैं कि we are all having so much anxiety that it's resulting in panic? So I'm not sure where everybody's thoughts are, but I will tell you, when I first heard this set of symptoms, what is it that came into my mind? So we're going to watch another video, and that has English subtitles as well.
जो थमा को भी नहीं दिया. मैं इनसे युद्ध करने आया हूं. मैं इनके प्राण लेने का प्रयत्न करूंगा. ये सोचने से ही मेरा अंग अंग शिथिल हो जा रहा है, मेरा मुंह सूखा जा रहा है. धनुष और बाण पकड़ने वाले ये हाथ सुन्न हुए जा रहे हैं. मेरे शरीर में वो कपकपी है केशव, जो मैंने कभी शिशिर ऋतु में भी अनुभव नहीं की थी. मेरा गांडी मेरे हाथ से गिरा जा रहा है केशव. मैं इन पर वाण क्या चलाऊंगा केशव, जिनके सत्कार के लिए स्वयं मेरे रोंगटे तक खड़े हो गए हो. मैं इस रणभूमि कुरुक्षेत्र को अपने ही वंश की श्मशान भूमि नहीं बना सकता केशव. अपने ही वंश की श्मशान भूमि नहीं बना सकता. आप कुछ कहते क्यों नहीं केशव?
अभी तो मैं सुन रहा हूं ना पार्थ. पहले तुम कह लो. कहने को क्या है केशव? कहने को क्या है?
जो
So that was just a small video. What we really literally saw were the symptoms of panic attack. अब ये सोचने वाली बात है, अगर अर्जुन जैसे महामानव ने, and if anybody wanted context of where this video was from, this is a very old B.R. Chopra Mahabharat, but the reason why I gave it in context is because scene ऐसा setup है कि युद्ध शुरू होने वाला है, अभी शंख नहीं बजा है, दोनों सेनाएं आमने सामने खड़ी हैं, everybody is in Kurukshetra, कौरव एक side, पांडव एक side, and Arjun asks Shri Krishna कि आप मेरा रथ बीचों बीच ले चलिए so that I can see equally on both sides and then see who's a friend, who's a foe. And if you read the introduction to Gita, Arjun has a fully symptomatic panic attack right at that time, before which the Gita starts. So anybody who tells me panic attack is a problem of the modern era, I will tell them you need to think once again. दूसरी important बात, अगर अर्जुन जैसे महामानव को panic attack हो सकता है, तो फिर हम जैसे मानवों को, अगर अर्जुन महाभारत के समय उनको panic attack हुआ था, हमें अगर exam के समय panic attack हो जाए, perfectly normal, right? Nobody is immune to it. So then the bigger question arises कि अगर हमेशा से panic रही है, हमेशा से anxiety रही है, तो हमारे पूर्वजों जिन्होंने हमें वेद दिए, who gave us literally a roadmap how to live our lives, did they not think about this? Or did they? And if they did think about this, how did they go about it? What did they tell us to wake up every morning? प्रातः उठें, अग्निहोत्र करें. One of the best research studies published, I think, anywhere, is this really recent published article into the Journal of Religious Health, that is a thing, where they actually studied what is it about Havan that could have a scientific end to it. And what they found out was the process of Havan itself is meditation. Coming together as a family is union, but more importantly, Havan Samagri jo hai, the herbs that we actually put in, they get a chance to melt and vaporize. And सब लोग जो medical community में वो जानते हैं, the most effective way to get a compound in somebody's body is intranasally. इसीलिए वो लोग जो smoke करते हैं वो तो फिर भी आसानी से छोड़ पाते हैं, जो लोग vape करते हैं, it's very, very hard for them to let go. क्यों? क्योंकि it transits, give an IV, it has to go through the body to get to your brain. Give it through the nose, it can go straight up through the nasal passages, up to the brain. तो क्या हम just सामग्री कह रहे हैं? Yeah, is there any specific things I'm talking about? Let's look at it. Probably one of the other really good research papers. This actually is a research paper on anti-seizure effects, but it works exactly the same for anxiety and depression as well. ये नीचे जो है herbs के नाम है, clove, saffron, jadamansi, coconut, mango, nutmeg. ऊपर जो है वो receptors हैं जो वो target करते हैं. And if you remember Dr. Ramesh Gupta's talk, he talked about GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid. He talked about serotonin. 5-HIA is just what serotonin is made of. Talk about NMDA receptors, which is what we use to, ketamine, the latest transition in medical health to improve depression. Nitric oxide, इसकी भी रमेश जी ने बात की थी, for blood pressure. Antioxidants, Google, saffron, gular, clove, nutmeg, वो सब जो हमारी सामग्रियों में होता है. तो हमारे पूर्वजों ने एक बहुत ही, to think of it as a scientific experiment, it's a one-shot fix-all. रोज सुबह सुबह जाइए, get your dose of serotonin medication, your little dose of GABA saturation, and you're set for the rest of the day. Each of these individually has also been studied. I just put in a few studies, few references, but you can go to PubMed and you can put any single herb in there. It will tell you that all the herbs that we use for Havan Samagri, they all actually have some kind of a neurotransmitter, SSRI, SNRI, MAOI type of an effect, which is serotonin, norepinephrine, dopamine, acetylcholine, GABA, all the neurotransmitters, जैसे कि Ramesh was talking about. So then comes the other thought. अगर हम आचार्य जी की बात सोचें, वो बात कर रहे थे pehle ka samaj or aaj ka samaj, with things that we have available, what is different? Think about it. If you and me were even living, forget 1,000 years old, even living 400 years ago in the Himalayas, we would have the freshest soil. We would be able to grow herbs that has the highest potency of the active ingredients, which would then almost be therapeutic in itself. Aaj, the soil that you grow them in, the quantity of the active material in herbs, is it potent enough? My answer would be preventatively, yes. But curatively, that's a big question mark. है ना? अगर आप वो perfect सामग्री ले आए अपने अग्निहोत्र के लिए रोज सुबह और उसको daily use करें over your life, maybe it's going to prevent you from anxiety. But then you're going to walk out and something might happen which might land you into a panic attack. So what do we do then? क्या करें? Where is the solution to that? Are we going to turn around and look into modern medicine? Are we going to walk back and say, nahi, I am only going to do holistic treatments for it? Well, let's take a look. What is modern medicine that we use? Benzodiazepines, isoprizones, sedative antihistaminics, beta blockers, and others. ये सारे modern medication हैं जो कि हम use करते हैं panic disorder या anxiety में. ये सारे के सारे medication exactly same neurotransmitters पे act करते हैं जिस पे हमारी हवन सामग्री act करती है. The only difference is we've come to a time when we can't find a potent enough havan samagri to target the specific receptors with a high enough volume. So then why would I ever be scared to take a psychiatric medication? मैं 1000 लोगों से बात कर लूं, मैं 500 लोगों से बात कर लूं, I always hear the same thing. I don't want a medication, इसमें तो side effect होते हैं. Actually, जब हम अग्निहोत्र में बैठ के सामग्री दे रहे हैं ना, हम exact same receptors को target कर रहे हैं, हम exact same active ingredients ले रहे हैं. बस फर्क इतना है कि उसको हम Google कहते हैं जो कि हमें harmless लगती है. अब जब हम उसे pill में पैक कर देंगे, so that's Googlestrone, and that becomes an MAOI. And then we get worried about it. Side effects किस चीज के नहीं होते? ज़्यादा पानी पीने के भी side effects होते हैं. But to prevent yourself for treatment because you're fearful of what the effects are is probably doing yourself or your family injustice. Moving on. दूसरी चीज जो बहुत important वहां पे थी, I think it's one of the most beautiful moments जब अर्जुन मुड़ के कहते हैं श्री कृष्ण को कि माधव आप भी तो कुछ कहिए. And he turns around, and I wish whenever I train our counselors, our psychotherapists, I show them that video. It's actually one of the jokes running around. मेरी एक friend है, she'll always say, तू तो आर्य समाजी है, फिर तू ये कृष्ण और अर्जुन की photos को क्यों सामने ला रही है? तो मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ मैं आर्य समाजी हूँ, इसलिए मैं चित्र के बाद चरित्र की बात करती हूँ, इसलिए चित्र को पहले सामने लाती हूँ, है ना? Think of how beautifully Shri Krishna said, अर्जुन अभी तो मैं सुन रहा हूँ, तुम बोल रहे हो ना? And that's exactly somebody with anxiety or panic needs. Somebody who can listen before they're able to provide a corrective response. अब हमारे पास सबके पास personal Shri Krishna तो है नहीं. और हमारी ability कि कोई हमें एक पूरा गीता सार सुनाए just for an exam is completely thoughtless, right? Just the exam might be really big for me, the work job might be really big for me. Can I find an alternative where someone can listen to me and then someone can provide me a response to my thoughts? And just like Shri Krishna was a trained politician, Yogeshwar थे वो, very trained at counseling, so much so कि उन्होंने गीता सार पूरी दुनिया को दे दिया. Are we going to look for a professional who knows what to do? Who learns how do I respond to someone who is going through a panic attack? थेरेपी सिर्फ यहाँ के लोगों को या यूरोपियन लोगों को या यंग बच्चों को नहीं चाहिए होती. फर्स्ट सेशन ऑफ थेरेपी हम सबने पढ़ा है. गीता सार. अर्जुन was having a panic attack. अर्जुन ने कहा मैं धनुष नहीं उठा सकता. श्री कृष्ण ने वहां बैठकर जब तक अर्जुन को काउंसिल नहीं कर दिया, एंड आचार्य जी भी कह रहे थे, छल भी करना पड़ा, कपट भी करना पड़ा. श्री कृष्ण ने अर्जुन को समझा दिया, क्यों अर्जुन तुम्हें अपने, जब वो कह रहे थे कि मैं पितामह पे नहीं उठाऊंगा, क्यों तुम अपने गुरु के ऊपर उठाओगे. He sat and counseled him. And imagine that. If he hadn't been counseled, Mahabharata would have never been won. So do we need our version of somebody who knows what they're talking about to walk us through what we're feeling? That's about the last few things I wanted to talk about. तो अगर आप यहाँ से 2 चीजें ले जाएं, तो मेरी करबद्ध प्रार्थना ये है कि एक, जब आपके सामने कोई आए जिसे एंजाइटी हो, somebody with panic attacks, don't think of them as any less. याद रखिएगा अर्जुन को पहला पैनिक अटैक आया था, for all we know. And दूसरी बात, जब कभी you reach a point where you might need a psychiatric medication, which is a big taboo, or might need to go to therapy, remember this was not brought to us. We gave it to the world. They just refined it. And if we walk away from it, then we're probably doing injustice to a beautiful thing we brought to the world that has actually helped millions and millions and millions of people. So that was my little spiel. I wanted to stay within the time limit. I think we're there. I'm
Yep.
happy to take any questions.
So I just wanted to give a little short summary of what she said. She is talking about panic attack, which is anxiety. And some people will say that, when you start thinking about worry for the future, then you get the anxiety. When you start thinking about what happened in the past, you get into depression. So modern science is showing that they all give medicine, but medicine work only 60% of the time. That's what the study in the University of Pennsylvania show that. So question is that she's saying that, when you do the yagya, and you can help with the panic attack. So maybe there's just from the contents of the samagri, but there could be the chanting of the Vedic mantras too. Because new science is coming back to what we have been always teaching, that you can have, chanting helps you with the peace of mind, and yoga meditation will help you having a peace of mind. So these things all overlap what you are talking about, In yagya, not only you put samagri, but at the same time you're chanting the mantras, with a prayer, you get the peace of mind. And so I think it's very relevant to what you said. Only thing, I'm not supposed to, I'm just telling your opinion, but I also want to share a little opinion that this is very good when you're doing it outside. But when you are building with the smoke detectors, sometimes havan can be done in a very small size, Our pandits are specialized not to get any smoke, because otherwise your fire department comes and any rented place, you lose it. So with what you're saying makes a lot of sense, with all the contents of the samagri, they have all the good effect with herb effect, which has been a lot of studies done, especially more in Ayurvedic medicine also. So I think it's a very good, timely, what you just said. And I'm very glad that you brought this. Now is the question and answers.
One question, okay. It's a long one, Shruti, if you can read directly from the chat, it'll be easier.
Which one is this? I'm sorry.
Might be more severe symptoms. Okay, a question is, what should we do in case there is a panic attack?
Yeah. walk yourself to the nearest emergency department. My response mein
For,
hamesha
for someone, Shuchi, for someone else. So if someone, suppose I'm getting a panic attack, what should someone else do to me?
Okay, so you can do some techniques which are right there. You can give somebody a bag to breathe in, right? Depends on how severe the person's panic attack is. You can give somebody a bag to breathe in. That usually helps with the breathing. Agar wo aapke saath, if you were ever here and we did the Om breathing, which is kind of like a square breathing only with Om, I think I did it in one of our sessions before. You can try that. But if it is severe, and if a person literally is having physical symptoms, I would walk them to the nearest emergency room. Because the bigger problems you can have with a prolonged panic attack are so many more. Panic attacks can actually lead to cardiac failures. Panic attacks can actually lead to syncope. So panic attacks can actually evolve into things that have further downstream consequences. So if somebody is in a distress situation, you give them a bag to breathe in, and they can't chant Om with you and go square breathing 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 counts in, 4 counts hold, 4 counts out, 4 counts Om. That's how I always say it. But if someone's in that amount of distress that they can't handle it, take them to the higher level of neurotransmitter blockade. They need some benzos in their system right now because we have to abort the panic attack.
Okay, thanks. Dr. Gulati, you have 1 minute, please.
Yes, I want to disclose a method which I have learned in our yoga class every evening. Dr. Rajendra Gandhi also attends. So let me demonstrate to you. Hold your index finger at the base of the thumb and touch the middle finger to the thumb. It is called Atma Vyakta Mudra. And then after holding that, close your eyes and breathe in slowly, counting 1 to 5, and breathe out slowly, counting 1 to 8. In this situation, the mouth has to be remaining closed, and holding this will bring your energies to center within yourself, and you will not be distracted and you will not panic as much. But it has to be done deliberately. But as Dr. Shuchi Khosla said, to breathe into a brown paper bag also will work. But if the panic attack is not severe, if you're just anxious, then you can do this mudra, and that will help you to get under control. Thank you.